I can be that I wanna be. I wanna be.
Come with me, and you'll see.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be.
Till the name university.
I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. Open my mind. I can be that I wanna be. I
na, Miss Carl.
Good afternoon. As we are about to begin, let me remind everyone to please identify yourself using the format, your organization, underscore your family name, and then your first name. Please mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Unmute when it is your turn to speak, and mute when you're done speaking. You may use the chat box to ask a question, or if you have difficulty with your connection. Please make sure that you're viewing the screen in side-by-side mode to see both the speaker and the presentation. Slide the screen separator to the left or right to adjust the size of each view. And please be informed that we will be recording the session. The recording is purely for documentation purposes and will not be shared to anyone without prior consent. Thank you. At this moment, let's have the H.N.U. chorale for the invocation and the singing of hymns.
Carla?
Good afternoon once again. My name is Carla Tanio from the College of Education, and I welcome you all to today's webinar, Continuing Professional Development Orientation. This webinar is called by by the Philippine Regulation Commission to orient us on the processes to be followed in the renewal of our license and to give us updates regarding CPD points required for license renewal. And we would like to thank our two resource persons from the PRC for their efforts of informing our colleagues in the university regarding the matter. And now, we are pleased to have Father Ramilo V. Mapaye, SVD PhD, Vice President for Academic Affairs, to deliver his welcome remarks. Father?
Thank you, Carla. A pleasant afternoon to all my dear colleagues. Advanced formal and informal learning programs are truly important for all professionals to undergo. And this is our development in terms of professionalism. Today, we are privileged to listen to our speakers, to know about our responsibility for these matters, particularly on these topics to be given to us: the renewal process flows and the CPD updates. Precisely, our speakers will give us an assurance and satisfaction also for our individuals' achievements to have a deeper and continuous understanding on our profession. It is a great appreciation to focus on these things that will make us aware of our advancement with present technology within our profession. With a sense of joy and interest, I welcome all of you to remain in this webinar with hope and continuous interest for your continual updating your skills and knowledge. May the good Lord, who is coming to us to celebrate his birthday, bless our endeavor in this afternoon's activity. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Father. Now, before we start with the orientation, let me again remind the participants to please identify yourself by using the format: your organization, underscore your family name, and then first. Please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Unmute when it is your turn to speak, and mute when you are done speaking. You may use the chat box to ask a question, or if you have difficulty with your connection. Please make sure that you are viewing the screen in side-by-side mode to see both the speaker and the presentation. Slide the screen separator to the left or right to adjust the size of each view. And lastly, please be informed that we will be recording the session. The recording is purely for documentation purposes and will not be shared to anyone without prior consent. Thank you. And now, without further ado, let me call the first speaker to discuss about the renewal process flow. Let's welcome Maria Christine O. Malanog, PRO3, Team Leader, Bohol Service Center. Ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much, ma'am. Carla.
Your screen sharing, no?
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Before po mag-start si Christine, let me just take this opportunity to thank or to give us a gratitude po to HNU, to Father Lero, the President po, to Father Ramilo Mapaye, to Dr. Buntag, Dean of Education, to Miss Vera Villosido. Again, thank you so much for responding to our request to conduct this information drive. So for this afternoon, two topics will be discussed: the renewal process flow and the CPD update. So Christine will be the one to talk about the renewal process flow. Tinang, share screen na ka. Okay, can you now see my screen?
Almost.
Yes, we can see it, ma'am.
Slideshow on top.
So I'm going to present to you the steps for renewal. So starting on setting an appointment online. So first step in setting an appointment online for renewal, you're going to visit our website. So it is
Wala nakita yung slideshow. Wala. I-stop share sa then share balik. Then slideshow. Lagi hapon.
Maputol, your screen sharing is being paused.
Ako na lang slideshow dere. Unshare please.
Nice slideshow sa middle, ma'am.
Kita or
Inang, i-unshare ako mag-share screen.
okay, can you all see the presentation already?
Yes, ma'am.
So using any browser, you have to type on the URL online.prc.gov.ph. So I'm going to enter, and then it will show you the page of some announcement from our website. You can see here the quick links to PRC's online services. So you're just going to select either first the online.prc.gov.ph or online1.prc.gov.ph. So once you click online.prc.gov.ph, If you already have an account, you are now going to sign in to your account. Just input your email address and your password. Then make sure to click the reCAPTCHA verification to verify that you're not a robot. Then after that, just click sign in. Or if you don't have an account online yet, you're going to register first. You're going to read our terms and conditions and then just click agree. Then when you register, you will be asked to input the details that is printed on your PRC ID. So make sure to follow what is printed in your PRC ID so that you won't have any problem in setting an appointment online. In most cases, if you cannot follow what is printed in your PRC ID, you cannot proceed to the transaction since that will show a record mismatch. So once you're done putting all of the information in the register, just click the register button. And then once you sign in, you will be asked to validate your email address. So just type your, have to click this button, click here to validate email, and then you will go to your email, just check your inbox for the message from PRC Online so that you can validate your email address. You will be asked to input your email address and password. Again, you're going to click the reCAPTCHA verification. Then click submit. Once you're done validating your email address, you will now be directed to your profile. So as you can see, your name, your gender, civil status, and birthday are already shown since you already inputted those details upon registering. So you're just going to continue putting your personal information, your contact details, your family background, your educational background. You have to, all the portion with asterisk should be filled in so that you will be able to save your information. So for renewal, you can see this button here. Click if this is for PRC ID renewal. So once you click, check that one, so you will no longer be asked to input your valid ID number, since you will be asked for the ID number once you are going to set an appointment to selection section. So once you're done filling in all the information, just click save information. Then after that, you are going to upload your picture. So just click this button, choose file. So in uploading your photo, make sure to follow this photo requirement to avoid delay. So the photo must be in 2x2 size and in plain white background. So this is our common problem in coming to the office. Most of or some of the professionals will upload photos that are not in plain white background. So that will cause you delay in processing your renewal. So since you will be asked to upload another photo. So make sure to upload a photo in plain white background. Also, photos must be taken no more than 6 months prior to uploading. So common case, abot sa office, we cannot accept your photos if daan na siya. So, yun, ma'am, hindi na pwede mong picture. Yun na. Ma'am, okay na mo gamit sa last na po renewal. So, hindi na siya pwede. Kaya last mo renewal, that is like 3 years ago na. So, hindi na dyan na siya 6 months taken ang photo. So, dapat updated na ang photo kaya for renewal naman. So next is the applicant must wear jeans and attire. So no sleeveless or spaghetti straps. The application will not be processed if photo does not resemble the applicant or if you are wearing eyeglasses. So please, when taking your photo, do not wear eyeglasses. And again, it should be in plain white background and should have no shadows. So once you're already done uploading your photo, just click proceed. So once your profile is already set, you can now select transaction. So just click this blue button that says select transaction. So when you click select transaction, you will see different transactions like examination, initial registration, renewal, and duplicate. So for renewal, just click this button renewal, and you will be asked to select your profession. So just click this arrow to show the drop down menu for the profession. And then you have to put your license number. In putting your license number, make sure to input the 7-digit license number. So for example, your license number is 001235. You have to include the 2 zeros so that you won't have any error in setting an appointment online. So for example, if your license number is 001235 and you're just going to input 1234, it will say that your records does not match since you still have to input your 00. So when you're done putting your license number, just click proceed. Then you will now be asked to select your preferred PRC regional office. So for Bohol, you can just type here PRC-Bohol or Bohol, then it will show PRC-Bohol already, or any PRC branch where you prefer to renew your license. So make sure to select the PRC branch where you prefer to process your renewal because we have to strictly follow your appointment days. So after selecting your preferred PRC branch, you will now be asked to choose your payment option. So our payment options are PayMaya, GCash, or online banking through Visa, MasterCard, Cpd, or Land Bank. So once you're done selecting your preferred payment, you will now be asked to, if you're going to use your card, you're just going to write the details in your card. So the name printed in your card, the card number, expiry date, and the CVV. Or if you wish to pay using PayMaya or GCash, just click this button, PayMaya or GCash, and you will be directed to PayMaya or GCash electronic payment portal. So once you're done putting your payment information, just click proceed or complete. And now you can see that your transaction is already paid. So this can be found in your existing transaction. So commonly ginabuhat, kani ang i-print out ninyo. So you don't have to print out this page, the reference number. Just click this printer icon that says print document. Just click that one. This one, print document, and it will show you a print preview of your form. So this is what your renewal form looks like. So just print this one, and you can see here already your appointment date on the upper portion, your selected PRC branch, your reference number, and your payment details. So you no longer have to print out the reference number that was shown earlier because your OR number can now be shown on your renewal form. So just read the declaration and attestation and the undertaking. Then you're going to put your signature on the space provided. So if you do not have CPD units yet, so you have to fill in the undertaking portion that you have then submitted any CPD units yet. So for example, for this renewal, you don't have any CPD units yet, so just put 0 of the total required 15 units. So that 15 units will be added on your next renewal period. So that will be added to 45 CPD units. So you have to comply 60 units in your next renewal. So we're now going to show to you the requirements for renewal of professional identification cards. So first, like what we have shown earlier, the setting of appointment online. And we have also shown to you the signed renewal form that can be found in your administration section. So the third requirement will be your CPD units. You have to present the original certificate, and you're just going to submit only the photocopies. So who are the professionals that are not covered by the CPD requirement? So professionals working overseas are not required to submit CPD units provided that they can present a valid or current overseas employment certificate or employment contract abroad, or certificate of employment that is currently issued, or your company ID with validity abroad, so that you will be exempted from the CPD requirement. Also, newly licensed professionals are exempted from the CPD requirement for their first renewal cycle. First renewal cycle, that is 3 years after obtaining your license. So for example, you were registered last 2018, so 19, 20, 21. So for first renewal cycle, 3 years, you're going to renew your license this year. You will not be required to submit CPD units, but that is exempt for exempt social workers, because social workers are required to submit CPD units. So additional requirements required by particular professional regulatory boards. So there are some professions who are required to submit certificate of good standing from their accredited professional organizations before they can renew their licenses. So there are 15 professional regulatory boards that requires certificate of good standing. So for architects, they're going to secure that one from UAP, for aeronautical engineers, agricultural engineers, agriculturist, customs broker from CCBI, environmental planner from BIEP, professional electronics engineer, and electronics technician. You have to secure that one from ISAP. For geodetic engineer, you're going to secure that one from GEP, or Geodetic Engineers of the Philippines. For guidance and counseling, for your interior design, landscape architect, librarian, psychometrician or psychologist, professional electrical engineers, registered electrical engineers, and RME. They can secure that one from IAEE. And lastly, respiratory therapies. So surety bond will also be required from real estate service practitioners. For real estate broker and real estate appraiser, they are required to submit surety bond with 20,000 pesos coverage, valid for 3 years, in favor of PRC. So for professionals who are unable to comply with the required CPD credit units, they're allowed to renew their professional identification card upon execution of an undertaking, that they're going to complete the required CPD units for the next compliance period. So this undertaking can now be availed until December 31, 2022, since the undertaking was extended per resolution number 1444 dated November 18, 2021. So the execution of undertaking is extended up to December 31, 2022. So that's next year. So, for example, a professional cannot renew their license personally to the office. They can send a representative to process their renewal. The representative of the professional applying for issuance of professional identification card must submit. If your representative is a PRC license holder, they have to submit the original authorization letter and photocopy of their PRC ID. Or if your representative is a non-PRC license holder, they have to submit the original special power of attorney and photocopy of any valid government issued ID. Please be informed that the submission of applications for accreditation, for example, applying for CPD Providers, CPD Programs, and crediting of activities that did not go through the CPD Council or self-directed activities, for example, frontliners or some seminars or trainings that is conducted by organizations that are not accredited CPD providers, you're going to apply that online through the CPDAS or the Continuing Professional Development Accreditation System. So you can see the link, cpdas.prc.gov.ph. So for professionals who wish to file for petition for change of registered name due to marriage, so there will be additional requirements for that. It's either before you renew your license or after you renew your license. The requirements, if you wish to change your last name from your maiden name to your married name, you have to submit the duly accomplished petition form that is duly notarized. So this form can be downloaded from our website. Just check that one from our website. Next requirement is original and photocopy of your certificate of marriage issued by NSO or PSA. So if you're going to submit the certificate of marriage issued by your local civil registrar, we cannot accept that one. So the certificate of marriage should be issued by NSO or PSA, and that is original in security paper. Next requirement is 2 pieces passport size ID picture in white background with complete name tag using your married name. And the fee will be $225. And they have to secure documentary stamp from the BIR and photocopy of your previous PRC. So if you have some questions, this is our contact details. You may, for CPD concerns, you may email our 07.regulationdiv@prc.gov.ph. For general concerns about PRC Cebu services, you may email that to r07@prc.gov.ph. For concerns about your registration details, you may email that to r07.lrd@prc.gov.ph. And for your concerns, for example, your accounts online, if you have some problems in your account, you can contact our ICT unit, r07.ictunit@gmail.com. So for record mismatch and retrieving of PRC accounts, so for example, like what you have shown earlier, you haven't inputted the correct information that is printed in your PRC ID, we can no longer edit that one. So we have to reach out our ICT unit so that they will be the one to change your records so that we can now proceed in setting an appointment online. Or for example, you already had your
account online like 3 years ago and you can no longer remember the email ad and the password that you used during that time, you can send your message to our ICT unit. That is, their email is ro7.ictunit@gmail.com. So you have to provide the complete information, your name, profession, your email address, your valid email address, and the old email address that you used before, and then your address, and screenshot of your two valid government issued IDs for verification of your identity. And so that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Christine Malanog. Now, to discuss about the CPD updates, we have the Supervising PRO, Regulations Division Focal Person, RO7, Rezalyn A. Maputol. Ma'am Rezalyn.
All right. Again, good afternoon, everyone. So for this afternoon po, I will be discussing more on the CPD, how to earn CPD units, unsa man gyud ang CPD, nganong naay CPD. So to start, Republic Act 10912 or the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. So what is CPD? So basically, CPD is the inculcation of advanced knowledge, skills, and ethical values in a post-licensure specialization or in an inter or multidisciplinary field of study for assimilation into professional practice, self-directed research, and or lifelong learning. So, manotice ninyo diri ang highlighted or underline na to nga words post-licensure because si CPD ay pa na siya mag-start after being registered as professional na sa mga licensee. So, tanan trainings nga na-attend prior to being a registered professional will not be counted as continuing professional development. So, mabalaan na ninyo kung kanusa mo na rehistro being a professional is kana sa inyong mga license na ay nakabutang diha registration day. So, kung nakapasar lang mo sa board exams, you are not yet fully pledged professionals. You're just a board passer. So kung nakapasar na, mag-oath taking, ay na dayon na siya mag-register. So once ma-registered na, ay pa mo matawag na registered nurses, registered engineers. Na. So again, ay na mag-start ang CPD after your registration being a professional. So konting background, chronology of events. CPD lapsed into a law in 2016. So meaning lapsed into a law, meaning wala ni siya na-signan sa president or wala na veto. It's just that after third reading, wala na signan or wala na veto, automatically nag-lapse siya into a law. So that's what happened sa CPD. And the author of this bill is none other than Senator Trillanes. So nag-start ang implementation sa CPD July 1, 2017 na because pa man siya na ay implementing rules and regulation. Although in 2017, dili tanan boards or dili tanan profession sabay-sabay nag-implement. Sample, si teacher, they implemented CPD requirement only in December 1, 2017. For nurses naman, nag-start sila January 2018 na. And then, by that time, in 2017, the required CPD units then was 45 units. Came 2019, February 7, the IRR of the law was amended. So from 45, the only required CPD units starting March 2019 up to this time is only 15 credit units. So, from 45, na-lessen siya into 15 credit units. So, amended IRR, this is the transition resolution po for the implementation of CPD. So, implementing agency, si PRC shall undertake the overall implementation of the CPD programs through the PRB. So, by the way, in PRC po, we have 46 regulatory boards. So, ang latest ana madungagan pa yun is the Board of Food Technology. Pero, wala pa na sila yung licensure exam karon na. Bago pa lang ilahang board. So, we now have 47 regulatory boards. So, hierarchy will be PRC, PRBs, and the CPD Council. So, under Section 7 of RA 10912 provides the creation of the CPD Council. So, the council is composed of 3 members, headed or chaired by someone who is from the regulatory board of that particular profession. And then the first member is from APO or APO. APO stands for Accredited Professional Organization. Ang sample ani is for the nurses, si PNA. For our medtechs, it's PAMET. For teachers naman, it's PAFTE and other professional organizations. And then the second member is from the academ. So, kani sila, tulo, they have the discretion to approve or disapprove all CPD-related applications. So, we sa PRC, kami mga PRC personnel and staff, we only do initial checking of your application, initial checking as to completeness and as to authenticity. However, ang evaluation na kung pila ka points ang inyong ma-earn from that activity, and then pila ka points ang ilang i-approve for that application as CPD program, ang naay discretion na ana is kani sila si CPD Council. And then, CPD Providers. So, we have 2 categories for CPD Providers. We have local and then foreign. And then, under local, we have 3. A provider could be an individual or sole proprietor. Pwede sad siya firm, partnership, or corporation, or a government institution, or a government agency. Now, kung si government institution or si government agency mo apply siya as CPD provider, wala sila'y bayad. As well as their CPD programs. Kung naa sila i-apply nga CPD programs, walay bayad if they will not collect registration fees from the participants po. So, that resolution was issued to encourage our government institution or agencies to apply as CPD providers para kato ilahang mga employed professionals dili na magsigi og absent kay para lang maka-attend og CPD program kay requirement man siya sa renewal or for them to enroll their mga kanang naka-program nga activities na. Diba, kada year na na sila mga i-conduct in-service trainings. So, kana ilang mga in-service trainings, kung mag-apply na sila as provider, they can also apply it as CPD program. So, automatic ang participant ana, once approved ang program, makadawat dayon na sila og CPD units. So, nature of CPD programs, we have here 4. Formal learning, non-formal, informal learning, or professional work experience, and then online learning. So, si formal learning, these are curriculum-based. So, diri pasok kato inyong master's degree or doctorate degree. And then, non-formal learning naman, these are structured. Ang sample ani, mga trainings and workshops. And then, informal learning naman or professional work experience, one good example of this is si nurse. Si nurse, mao ang iyahang registered nga profession. Tapos, karon si nurse employed siya in a BPO industry, say manager siya dito. So, dili tungod kay manager siya in the BPO industry, although dili directly connected sa iyahang profession, dili pasabot nga wala na siya learning outcome. Still, naagi hapon. And then, kato nga learning outcome niya nga nakuha from being a manager in a BPO industry, pwede niya i-apply under informal learning aron maka-earn siya og CPD credit units. And then the most common, especially this pandemic, kani si online learning. So, si online learning naman, Diri pasok ang mga webinars or pwede sa diri mga video on demand. So, an accredited CPD provider of a particular profession may apply for accreditation of its programs to other professions subject to the approval of the CPD Council concerned. Unsa man ang pasabot? Say, isa ka hospital, say si HNU Hospital. HNU Hospital is already an accredited provider under the nursing profession. So karon kay accredited naman siya, pwede nga ang iyahang programs nga i-offer pananglitan ang participants ato nga program, daghan or various ang profession, say naa si nurse, naa si doctor, naa si medtech, naa si midwives. So karon naa siya i-offer nga training. Kato nga training applicable for those different professions. Para maka-earn si other profession, maka-earn si doctor from that attending seminar, si midwife or si kanang medtech, dapat i-apply sad ni HNU to the particular CPD Council of that particular profession. Ang kato nga program nga i-conduct. Kay aron kato si professional nga nag-attend ato nga training, makadawat sad siya og CPD units automatically kung ma-approve sad ang program nga gi-apply. So, dili necessary nga si isa ka establishment or isa ka hospital mo apply siya as CPD provider kada profession. No, pwede na dili. As long as accredited na siya nga CPD provider of a particular profession, pwede na dayon nga ang programs na lang ang iyang i-apply kada council or kada profession. Kay ang mahitabo magud ani kung pananglitan, ang program lang nga gi-conduct was only applied under the nursing profession unya na approved. Tapos na ay nag-attend nga other profession. So kato si other professional, say midwife, si midwife, although naka-attend siya ato nga training nga accredited, pero only accredited sa nursing, dili siya makadawat og CPD. Pero ang katong certificate na iyang nakuha, magamit gihapon niya for accreditation, pero siya na mismo ang mo-apply for accreditation. So, ang mahitabuan na it could be doble ang iyahan na bayaran by attending the seminar and at the same time to apply it for accreditation under self-directed modality. So, unani siya ang difference. So, how to earn CPD credit units? So, there are 3 common ways on earning CPD credit units. First is to attend trainings and seminars offered by an accredited CPD provider. And at the same time, dapat ang katong trainings nga gi-conduct was also approved as CPD program. So, dili pasabot nga accredited provider na ang nag-conduct, automatic nga ang program nga ilang gi-conduct, tanan accredited, no. Separate man na siya nga application. So, separate application as accredited provider. At the same time, dapat ang programs nga ilang ipang-conduct was also applied as CPD program. And then second way on earning is to apply for credit units under self-directed modality. So diri na to masulod ang kato inyong mga trainings and seminars attended, conducted by non-accredited CPD provider. Kung panalitan, gikandak man sa accredited CPD provider, ang mismong program wala na apply for accreditation. So, for trainings and seminars, ang pwede lang i-apply for SDL are trainings and seminars conducted 3 years prior to application. Meaning, kung i-apply nimo for accreditation this 2021, we will only accept certificates issued in 2018 onwards. Nya kung 2022 na mo apply, 2019 onwards na mga certificates. Pero kung gani ang i-apply master's degree or kanang doctoral degree nimo, wala ra siya kanang time frame. Pwede ra kung bisag kanus-a siya na-graduate. And then third is to participate in programs initiated by the PRC and the PRBs for the development of the profession. So, one good example of PRC-initiated activity is katong last na mo nga conduct diha sa licensure examination for professional teacher. So, katong mga teacher or katong mga licensed professionals nga nag-serve po as room watchers during the recently conducted LET in HMU, pwede mo makadawat ato ma'am and sir og CPD credit units. That will be 2 units per day po. And then the maximum credit units nga pwedeng ma-earn from that is 6. So later on ato i-discuss basig na ay makapangutanaw paunsa pagkuha ato nga CPD credit units. And then update. So first we have Resolution 1146 or the transition resolution and the implementation of RA 10912 or the CPD Act of 2016. So these are the salient features. First, professionals working overseas shall not be covered by the CPD requirement. So notice ninyo ang term na mo gigamit there is professional working overseas. So this is not limited to only OFWs because naaman sa mga professionals nga wala na niagi og POEA. They were directly hired by their company or ang uban tuan na gyud to nag-work. So as long as they can provide proof that they are working abroad, sample of proof of employment could be valid overseas employment certificate. Kani OEC, makuha ni siya sa POEA or valid contract or valid work visa or valid employee ID. So as long as they can present this during the renewal of their IDs, we can exempt them from the CPD requirement. So another salient feature will be newly licensed professionals shall not be covered by the CPD requirement for the first renewal cycle after obtaining their license. So, ang pasabot ani, kung pananglitan na rehistro ka sa imuhang lisensya in 2017, ang imuha first renewal cycle is only until 2020. Kay 3 years man after obtaining their license. So, pananglitan, 2017 ka nagrehistro na expire imuhang ID 2020. So, that is your first renewal cycle. Tapos, karon na kang 2021 nag-renew. So, you were then required na to submit CPD credit units. Kaya humana na, pasok naman, di naman kapasok sa imuha first renewal cycle. So, if 2018 ka nag-register, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, tapos karon sad kang 2021 nag-renew, pasok pa ka sa first renewal cycle, so, pwede pa ka na mo i-exempt from the CPD requirement. Mota na, ma'am, 2019 ko nag-register. Pasok ba gihapon? Yes, pasok na pasok. Kung 2021 or 2022 mag-renew sa ID. But, this is exempt for our social workers and for professionals who intends to practice the profession in countries covered by bilateral or regional or international agreements in which CPD is a recognition and a eligibility requirement such as the ASEAN MRA. So, nanuman exempt si social workers because it is indicated in their professional regulatory law that they should submit 45 credit units every renewal of their ID. So, dili sila pwede makover aning FRC or first renewal cycle. And also, katong mga mag-apply for ASEAN engineers, ASEAN architects, and ASEAN CPA. So, ASEAN engineers, architects, they would need to submit 45 credit units. And then for katong mga mag-apply po for ASEAN CPA, 120 credit units po. 120 credit units is nakapattern siya internationally for the accounting profession. So again, another salient feature, CPD credit units shall not be more than 15 provided by applicable laws. Again, except for our social workers and for those who will apply for ASEAN engineers, ASEAN CPAs, and ASEAN architects. Then professionals who executed an undertaking before the transition period shall only comply with 15 credit units as compliance with the said undertaking. So as mentioned earlier, nag-start ang implementation sa CPD in 2017. Now, if by that time, naka-renew mo sa inyong ID, nakahinumdum pa mo nga nakautang di ay mo og CPD credit units kay wala mo na percent during that renewal. So kung ang required by that time 45 pa man or say 30, from that 30 nga utang na units, ang imuha lang bayaran from that is only 15 plus 15 nga credit units na required karon nga renewal. So you still need to submit 30 credit units. Anya, kung panalitan ang nautang na credit units last 2017 or last 2018, less than 15, say 5 lang. So ang imuha lang i-comply for this renewal is only 5 plus 15. So total of 20. Garon. Ma'am, wala man gihapon kay credit units unsaon man na. So, kung naminaw mo sa discussion ni Christine earlier, still, you can proceed with the renewal of your ID. Mag-execute lang again og undertaking. So, another utang. So, kung nangutang og CPD credit units last renewal nga 15, plus karon nga required 15, tapos wala pa yung CPD, so ang imong utang tanan will be 30 plus 45 pananglitan next renewal nimo ibalik na sad nila to 45 kay this is only a transition resolution man. So CPD providers with valid accreditation during this transition period may continue their offering of CPD programs. So this is for our provider. So application for CPD programs of accredited provider shall be submitted not less than 15 working days before the scheduled date of offering. And then only application with complete documentary requirements shall be accepted by the PRC. So by the way, tanan CPD related application karon will be done via online. Later ato i-discuss ang kanang CPD accreditation system. So presumptive approval. So all CPD programs submitted for accreditation will be deemed approved after 10 working days from official receipt if no feedback from the CPD Council is received. So, mao ni siya common, especially sa nursing profession. Daghan mo follow-up na providers nga, ma'am, na-file na namo ang accreditation, i-conduct na namo ang program. Wala paghihapoy approved credit units karon pangutana, ipadayon ba namo or not? So, naay ka ng provision nga kung after 10 working days, wala paghihapon may na-receive na feedback from the CPD Council, ma-deem approved siya. So, you can still continue to offer the program and i-conduct padayon. Only that, you cannot issue yet certificate nga naanay CPD credit units to your participants because we will have to wait for the approved credit units as approved by the CPD Council. Pero you can proceed with the conduct of your offering or your program. And then all SDL application, or we call it post-event accreditation, shall be deemed approved after 15 working days from official receipt if no feedback from the CPD Council is received. So for CPD program, 10 working days. For SDL, 15 working days. And again, the reiteration lang po, CPD Council shall assign the CPD credit units for every program submitted. So dili kami taga PRC ang mo determine kung pila ka units ang imuhang ma-earn, kundi si CPD Council. And then in-house training programs and capacity building activities of government agencies and private corporations or firms shall be considered as CPD compliance of their employed professionals. So, this is only applicable if si government agency or si private corporation is also an accredited CPD provider. Dawato na mo automatic, and at the same time, katong ilahang in-house training programs were also approved as CPD programs. So kung panalitan dili, they can still use the certificates provided it will be applied under post-event accreditation or self-directed modality. So ang concept lang ani, Kung si certificate nimo or training nga imong gi-attend dili accredited, magamit gihapon nimo pero you have to apply for accreditation for it to be given with corresponding CPD credit units. Kung pananglitan ang training nga gi-attendan nimo is already accredited, dawato na namo automatic sa counter during your renewal. So excess credit units may be credited for the next renewal cycle only. So pananglitan this renewal, naka-earn ka og 45 credit units. Diba kay ang required 15 raman. Given nga wala kay utang last renewal. So naa pa kay excess na 30. Kato si 30, magamit na nimo siya, pwede siya ma-credit until your next renewal cycle only unsay pasabot. Kung na-renew ka in 2021, your expiration will be in 2024. So, kay naaman kay excess credit units, kato si 30 nga excess nimo, magamit nimo siya until 2024. Pananglitan, maka-renew gani ka in 2025. Kato si excess, mapaso na to siya. So, dili na magamit. Kay ingon man siya dari for the next renewal cycle only. But if your expiration will be in 2025, dapat mag-renew sad ka 2025 or earlier. So by the way, the earliest renewal of your ID is a year prior to its expiration. So kung pananglitan ang imuhang expiration sa imuhang license karon in the year 2022, tapos sumana kag birthday this year, pwede na ka maka-renew ana sa imuhang ID. And then, ang expiration ana will be 2022 plus 3, so 2025. So, up to when is the implementation of transition period? So, kanus adi ay mo end, ma'am. So, the transition period shall end after the antecedents have been met. So, these are the antecedent requirements. Kaning mga naay naka-check, exist na siya nga mga guidelines. Ang kulang na lang karon is the career progression and specialization program. So eventually, mahatag sad mi ani o kanang information drive regarding this. Pero amo, igo lang mo facilitate, we will invite na the regulatory board. So I just would like to give highlight on guidelines on the registration fees of CPD providers. So, to address katong mga concerns, mga hinaing, mga violent reactions before sa atong mga professionals na CPD, pangwartangan rami, money-making mechanism raman na ang CPD. So, to address those complaints. So, hence the issuance of these guidelines on the registration of fees. So by the way, naanay mga CPD program nga gaka-disapprove because taas kaayo ang registration of fees. And then by the basig karon mausab na sad ni mga guidelines because recently they conducted consultative meetings regarding ani na mga guidelines. So as of now, wala pa yung mga updates for these guidelines. So another resolution, 1239. So 1239 is the PRC's way of thanking our frontliners and responders during this pandemic because this resolution grants CPD credit units sa tanan mga professionals who provided essential services during this pandemic. So what to submit? Naami duha ka document na pwede i-submit, Annex A and Annex B. So, ato na siya i-discuss later. So, who are considered as frontliner? So, kani nga resolution, ang gi-consider na frontliners are those katutanan employed in DOH, regardless unsa ang profession. DOH hospitals, hospitals of LGUs, and mga provincial city or mga RHUs or even pwede mga PNPs, si social worker nga nag-distribute og amelioration program, they are considered frontliners. So si responders naman, those professionals who collected or packed and distributed medical supplies, masks or protective equipment, or katong mga naghatag og food packs or even katong mga professionals nato nga kanang nag-help kanang maghimo og quarantine facility during this pandemic. So again, kung frontliner, the maximum CPD credit unit may be granted is 45. And then kung responder naman, ang maximum nga pwede i-credit ni CPD Council is 25. So Annex A, mao ni siya ang itsura sa Annex A. There should be letterhead of the institution or agency or entity with address and contact details. And then dapat naka-specify ang period. So if you are a nurse, sample nurse in a hospital, so kung employed na mo kasagsagan sa pandemic, ibutang lang diha March 2020 up to present or even before March 2020 pa ka na-employed, pwede. Just provide details of functions or tasks or accomplishments. So dili pwede nga ibutang lang diha he or she is a nurse in a hospital during this pandemic. So dapat nakadetalye because this will be the basis of the CPD Council para pila ka units ang ilanghang i-grant to that professional. So dapat naka-specify. And then signature, pwede mo sign ani kung kinsa man ang authorized na signatory. Pwede admin, HR, or gi-designate for that particular lang na submission of this Annex A. Then Annex B naman, this is self-declaration. So ang mo perma ani is si professional mismo. So kaning blank dari CPD Council of or for the name of your profession. And still, kailangan naka-indicate ang period and also provide specific and complete details. Only that, kani si Annex B, mag-need lang ni siya og proof or certification. Sample, naghatag mo og PPEs or food packs. So, kailangan na ay certification sa inyong katong beneficiary. Or, then mga photos during the actual activities. So kung pananglitan applicable sa inyo ang duha, frontliner ka and at the same time nag-distribute ka food packs or other activities that may be considered as respond during this pandemic, pwede nimo siya i-apply ang duha. Nota na ma'am, duha ako profession, nurse and pharmacist. Pwede na ako siya i-apply to both? Yes, pwede po. Depende na sa appreciation ni CPD Council. Another resolution, 1197, guidelines on SDL. So under SDL na duha ka category, we have here professional activity and volunteer engagement. So under professional activity, pasok diri mga conference, seminars, study tours, invention, consultancy, pwede. For volunteer engagement naman, mostly mga civic social responsibility programs like medical missions, mga livelihood programs, o mga CSR projects. So, only a maximum of 30% SDL, CPD credit units from non-formal activities of the total required for compliance may be credited for renewal of PIC. PIC stands for Professional Identification Card or the commonly known as your PRC ID. So, kung ang inyuhang i-apply under SDL or post-event accreditation, mo fall siya under non-formal activities. Again, non-formal activities, these are trainings or workshops. Kung mo fall siya ang maximum lang nga pwede ma-earn is only 30% of the required CPD credit units of that compliance period. So, sample, ang required na to current 15. So, 30% from that is only 5. So, maski unsa kadaghan ang inyong gisubmit, basta mo fall siya under non-formal, 5 ragid na ang maximum nga pwede ma-earn. However, kung ang inyong i-submit, inyong master's degree or doctorate degree, pwede na siya ma-credit maximum 45. So, proof or requirements to be submitted. So, first, proof of attendance or participation, and program of activity or a narrative report on what has been learned. You need to submit this number 2 requirement because mostly sa proof of attendance or participation, ang naka-indicate lang diha is only the title of the activity. Wala naka-indicate unsa mga topics nga na-discuss. So that's why kailangan na isubmit na program of activity or a narrative report on what you have learned from each of the attended training or seminar. And then a payment of 500 per application. Again, per application, not per certificate. So if you have maraming certificate, please scan it and combine it into one PDF para usa lang siya ka-application. Later ako i-demonstrate pa unsa mag-apply. And then 500 is processing fee po. So again, prescribed fees 500, processing period 15 working days. So resolution number 1244 or the matrix of CPD activities. So again, under formal learning, doctoral degree, master's degree, or post-diploma, mga fellow program. Again, supporting documents that needs to be submitted. Pwede university certification. University certification is only applicable if wala pa nahuman sa imuhang degree. Sa units pa lang nga na-earn. Kung panalitan graduated na, dapat na ay diploma and TOR authenticated copy. Same with your master's degree and kanisa postgraduate diploma. So, under kung panalitan CPD accredited, mauni siya ang units nga na-earn and then the supporting documents. Kung non-accredited naman, eto, depende kung pila ang i-approve ni CPD Council. Again, ang kailangan lang i-apply for SDL accreditation kay katong trainings and seminars you have attended nga ang nagkandak, dili accredited provider or kung pananglitan accredited manggani nga provider, ang program wala gi-apply for accreditation. Yan, pwede diri, inventions, ayan. So mag-ano lang paani. Ka mag-dwell. So how to apply? Oops. So first, you need to create an account in the CPDOS. So by the way, regardless kung mag-apply mo for accreditation or not, we are encouraging everyone to create your CPDOS account. So this is a separate account from your katong Laris, katong sa renewal ninyo nga account. Alahi siya. This is for your CPD requirement na account. So you can follow the provided steps on the manual. So, to demonstrate lang, let's go to our website. Makita ra akong screen. May I see?
Yes,
thumbs
ma'am.
up?
Yes,
Alright,
ma'am.
sige. Go to our website, prc.gov.ph. So, by the way, ang website karon medyo guba-guba. Minsan, under maintenance. It's because po, marami ga-access kay nag-release me sa teachers nga result and at the same time kadaghan mag-register mo ga-crash siya ang among website and system mao ga under maintenance. So going back, go to our website www.prc.gov.ph. Under other services na amoy makita diri CPDOS. Once click, you will be redirected to this page. So, yan. If you have, kung wala pa mo yung mga accounts, kani inyo i-click professional registration. And then, na-add siya mo pop up. Just read this and then I have read. So, kani. By the way, si CPDOS, unlike sa Laris, katong account ninyo for the renewal of your ID, nga pwede multiple profession, CPDOS is one profession, one account, is to one email address. So, kailangan unique ang email address. So, again, this is one profession, one account, one email address. So, kung duhain mo profession, you need to create 2 accounts and then 2 different email address. Yan. So, balik ta. There is a manual provided to our, ayan. Once click, naa siya mo pop up ng manual. This is to guide our professionals on how to go with your registration sa CPDA. So, kanilang atong sundan. I have read and fill out. So, again, you need to provide valid email address because all CPD-related notification will be sent to that email address. So, kailangan yun siya valid. Otherwise, di ninyo ma-receive ang mga notifications like kailangan na amo i-comply ng other requirement and so on. So, submit application. Ayun, submit, proceed, then log in. Once maka-log in na, yan. This is the itsura of your account na sa CPDA. So, ang aming makita diha, may other activities for accreditation. Then, kani, plus sign. Once click, mag-pop up na yun ni siya. Karon recent update, naanapod na siya isa ka tick box diha nga kanang naanay frontliner. So kato ang i-click ko ang inyong i-apply Annex A or Annex B. Then you need to select appointment place. So by the way, dili na ni siya kailangan mag-submit og hard copies in our office. You just have to upload all your files na online. Then again, select again. Mentioned earlier, ang dawaton lang niya nga file is naka-PDF. So again, kung daghan ang application, please combine it into one PDF kay para usar ang bayaran ng application fee nga 500. And dapat kung i-apply ninyo master's degree, doctorate degree, pwede ninyo siya usahon sa inyong mga trainings and seminars. Pero kung gani ang inyong i-apply Annex A or Annex B katong sa frontliner, separate application lang siya kasi kung Annex A or Annex B ang inyong i-apply, wala siya ibayad. So you just have to select an PRC cashier and then disregard the payment. Kami na ang mo provide. Yan. So again, you can pay via online, pay Maya po, or you may opt to pay at our PRC cashier. Pero kung hindi na mo ganahan mo adto po sa office, bayad na lang mo online. And by the way, kung magbayad mo online, wala siya i-refund if ever. So submit application and then yan. 6.25 is service fee po sa PayMaya. If mag-wonder lang mo service charge, na ay additional. So, ani na dayon ang itsura. Yan. So, this is your dashboard. So, in your dashboard, makita na niyo dari tanan ninyohang activities nga gi-attend. So, again, as mentioned earlier, regardless kung naamoy i-apply for accreditation or wala, we are encouraging everyone na mag-create og CPDAS nga account ganuman. So, manotice ninyo dari na siya nakabutang list of programs. Pananglitan, nag-attend mo og seminar say webinar, anya accredited ang webinar. Si provider manggod, after ana og conduct sa CPD program activity mo, submit man na sila og completion report. Along with the completion report is the attendance. Anya kana si attendance karon is being done through online na by encoding sa katong mga names. So pag na-encode ang names niya, naamoy CPDAS account, makita na dere sa inyohang account. Kung pananglitan ka to nga program accredited. So kung wala mo yung account, dili to ma-reflect. So again, kana imo kung naa kay SDL nga application, makita dere kung na-approve na or not. So, tanan ninyong application, pananglitan na approve na, mangayo mig screenshot ani. Kung pananglitan naka-renew na mo niya, nag-undertaking lang usa to proceed with your renewal, you can follow screenshot of your dashboard para ma-update na mo ang inyong records sa among database. Kung pananglitan ay pa lang mo renew, kaniingon ani ang isubmit katong SDL, just provide screenshot para attachment sa inyong renewal. Alright, so go back sa slide. So again, log in to your account and apply for other activities for accreditation. So again, kung COVID-19 frontliners and responders, scan copy of your Annex A or Annex B or both if applicable. And then your step 3 will be select PRC cashier as payment channel, but disregard payment since payment is waived under Resolution 1239. So, for non-accredited seminars, trainings, workshops, and master's degree, your step 3 will be here. You may opt to select PRC cashier as payment channel or pay via debit or credit or PayMaya. Again, kung master's degree, dapat authenticated by the school registrar ang diploma and your TOR. Kung pananglitan, units earned pa lang, scan copy of your university certification. Again, note, should be in one PDF only. And then another note, no hard copies will be submitted in our office. And then once approved, you may check the approved units through your CPDash account dashboard, katong shown earlier. And then kindly forward or copy furnish us of the approved credit units para matag na mo sa inyong record. Send it to this email following this subject. So again, reminder, all professionals are required to submit CPD credit units every renewal of their PRC ID. So contrary to kanang mga circulating chismis, dili tinuod nga si frontliners exempted. Pero they can earn units. Dili sila exempted, ha? So no CPD, no renewal unless CPD undertaking is executed. So ang undertaking nato is extended until December 31, 2022 only. So, basig 2023, no CPD, no renewal na yun. So again, COVID-19 frontliners and responders may be granted with a maximum of 45 and 25 credit units respectively. Again, dili sila exempted, but they may be granted CPD, provided they submit kato Annex A and Annex B under Resolution 1239. And then reminders, those who executed the CPD undertaking during the renewal in 2018, in 2019, 2020, or even in 2021, katong mga nag-undertaking kay nakalimot og da sa ilang certificate or wala pa nakuha ang certificate, please send us a scanned copy of your CPD certificates. Send it to this email, ro7.regulationdiv@prc.gov.ph. Subject, CPD compliance. And provide your complete name, profession, and then your license number for easier verification. And then here are our contact details. Again, kani amo ani nga email address sa CPD. ro7 our main email address. And then if you have concerns, especially kung available na ang iyong board certificate or katong diploma-like certification, you can follow up or you can inquire through this email. Again, that ends my presentation po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Rezalyn. Now, at this moment, let's have the open forum. Those who have questions, you may now ask the speakers or you may type your questions in the chat box. Now let me call Professor Jair Arawiran, Program Head for BS Ed and BP Ed to facilitate the open forum. Ma'am Jair?
Good afternoon.
Yes
Good
po.
afternoon, Ma'am
Good
Rezalyn
afternoon.
Ma'am, ma'am,
and
if
Ma'am
I may,
Christine. Ma'am Christine. We have one question here. Hi, yes, ma'am.
ma'am, pwede po munang bio break. Saglit. Bio break po, bio break.
Yes.
Okay,
lang po.
sige.
3
3 minutes, 5.
Ah,
Okay, sige. Thank you, ma'am. Jay, stand by. Are you still here, Jay?
Yes, Jer,
Wa si Jay.
akong question na mong
Oh,
ipangutana.
you have a question, ha?
Okay.
Ready kay nakayo og break si ma'am.
Kamu i-andam yun di mo akong heart, ha? Okay. Sige, Jer.
Chika sa Ma'am Jer.
For everyone who's watching us and who is in Zoom with us, application or no registration in the CPDAS website page is very easy and very quick. So I just did my registration before our webinar. So that's why I said it's functioning. So dali ra siya, ang dili ra dagyo dali ang pagpangita sa certificate. So it's fast, it's quick. Unsa pa may lain ha. So far, ang CPD, so for those who have not yet renewed their licenses, kayo nahadlok mo for the CPD units or credits, please apply now while the transition is still going on. And we have until December 31 of 2022 for, unsa to yung term gani? Nga kanang ma-excuse pa ta?
Undertaking.
Unsa to ma'am?
Undertaking. Mag-execute of undertaking.
Karon.
Undertaking.
Undertaking. Oh. So pwede pa. Pero dili na siya kuan na ha, utang na. Unya ang utang pwede raman ninyo ma'am no, si Ma'am Christine, we can also submit our certificates naman sa katong sa CPDAS. Sige. Sa pa man. I hope everybody is aware that we already have satellite ba ni? An office for PRC in Bohol, but I think we don't accept payments there. Sakto ko, Ma'am Christine?
Yes, ma'am. For renewal, online payment or sa tanan.
Okay. So for renewal, online payments tanan.
And
Do we
the
have
payment sa office, ma'am, is for example, petition for change of name. So, pwede na siya sa office i-pay.
okay, so ang office, Bohol PRC office accepts payments for other services, but for renewal, online lang yun during the application of the renewal of the license card. Sige, there's a question here. Sige, from Cesar. May I ask, kung katong teachers nga mo proctor o CLE na abay CPD units makuha, what is CLE? Sir Cesar? Sir C?
Criminologist licensure examination.
Kay the one that was included a while ago was only for LET.
Yeah, let,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, sige. Si Ma'am Christine makatubag aron or we need to wait for Ma'am Rezalyn?
I'm back po, I'm back. Sorry.
So Ma'am Rezalyn is back. So there's a question, ma'am. One question. Jay ha, kay nauna man po ni Cesar. Do we have CPD units for kuan? CLE ko no, kumo proctor o criminology licensure exam?
Yes, yes po, ma'am. Since ang
So
ang criminology 3 days man siya, they can earn 2 units per day, so 6. Pero kung pananglitan naka-serve sad siya last let, naka-earn sad siya og 2, supposedly 8, pero ang maximum lang manggod na ma-earn is only 6 in a
okay.
compliance period.
Okay, sige.
So,
Thank
at
you,
least
ma'am. So
Naana siya 6.
okay. So if teacher nag-proctor og LET and CLE, there will be units but up to a maximum of 6 units only.
Yes po.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Cesar, I think, Sir C, I think we answered the question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Miss J. Obenza.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Jer. Thank you, Ma'am Jer. Good
This
afternoon,
is
ma'am.
for Ma'am Rezalyn.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever can answer the question. If one has passed the licensure exam way back 2016 and has not asked for a license, will there be penalty or additional requirements, or cutting it short, what are the requirements so that he or she can apply for license?
In 2016, ma'am, you mean board passer po? Pero wala lang nag-register?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, wala naman pong ma'am. Wala namang explanation. Kailangan lang na siya mag-online for initial registration. Pero before siya maka-proceed the initial registration, kinahanglan usa mag-attend og oath-taking. And our oath-taking po is being conducted virtually na. So, online na sad siya. Pero mag-secure siya og appointment for e-oath-taking.
Okay.
From the
Where-
website.
Yes,
Yes
where,
po, using
at the
their
website.
Larry's account.
Okay.
Okay.
Mag-open ka, Jay, o account as a professional sa
Mhm,
PRC
Okay.
nga website.
Tanong ako ni mo dyan. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, here's another question from Ma'am Rosandakio. Good afternoon. Is HNU a certified CPD provider for teachers? Yes, we are. The College of Education specifically is a CPD provider for teachers. Kaso lang wala pa migi apply. We had plans before where we ask for funding from CHED so that we don't get registration fees from our participants. But so far, wala siya pushed through. We are still updating and always checking with CHED what happened with it. So in relation to that question, I have a question, Ma'am Rezalyn. So
Yes po.
I think this was answered a while ago, but I just want to repeat this. So if Holy Name University has seminars or programs, we can channel that through the College of Education as a CPD provider for application,
Yes, ma'am.
pero for
I-program
teachers only.
teachers only. Pero pwede gamiton ang accreditation as provider under the Professional Teachers Council kung mo-apply sad mo o program to other profession. And then by the way po ma'am, kailangan lang sa i-renew inyong accreditation as provider karon during the
Okay.
pandemic. Kung naamoy webinars nga i-conduct o wala mo i-collect na registration fees, online activities po, waive sad ang payment sa inyong CPD program application during the state
Okay.
of public health emergency, ma'am.
Are these, I saw that we have also registration for providers in your website. Is that, will that help us with the application that you mentioned?
Kanasa na-expire inyong accreditation, ma'am, as provider because nagsugod ang CPDAS in October 1, 2020. Kung pananglitan in 2020, wala pa na-expire to inyong accreditation, na-emailan mo, ma'am, you were notified for your CPDAS na account. If ever wala, we can follow it up sa among central office aron mahatagan mo o kato inyong account details, credential, para makalagin mo sa CPDAS kay your renewal application as CPD provider will be through the CPDAS.
Okay. Sige. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Karyo ha, ako sa mo break ha kay mother call. Karyo lang yung kaayo. Okay, I'm back. Gipasaran na ako. Okay. So I hope, Ma'am Rosan, we answered your question. Wala mo tuyong si Ma'am Rosan, but I think we answered her question. Here's another inquiry from Ma'am Virginia. Thank you na si Ma'am Rosan. From Ma'am Virginia Madanggit. She is professional engineer. Sakto, Ma'am Madanggit, no? Ma'am Virgie. I would just like to confirm if we can submit CPD units earned online, or can we also submit it at PRC? So as physical documents, Ma'am, no, Ma'am Virgie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so from what Ma'am Rezalyn mentioned a while ago, what is the answer, Ma'am Rezalyn?
May I ask, ma'am, kung nahuman na og renew? Kung wala pa nahuman og renew,
Recently.
ma'am?
Renew just recently, but then during the renewal, I was not able to bring my certificates for CPD units. So I just had that undertaking.
Sige, ma'am. kung pananglitan ang certificate nimo is already kanang accredited siya, you can just send it to our email. Kung pananglitan dili, apply it first for accreditation to be given with CPD credit units. Tapos kung naanay approval katong sa imong dashboard sa CPDAS, kato na dayon ang i-email sa amoa.
So we cannot submit it here in the Tagbilaran office.
You can email it, ma'am. Pwede sa yan ha, sa Bohol, or you can send it to their email kung CPD accredited ang certificate. Aron dili na mo mag-add to sa office.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sige. We have here, pila may ka-question, Ma'am Arlene. She has 2 questions. I will just read her message. During my last renewal, which was 2019, I brought with me my latest certificates. However, those were not asked for. So na siya question. I suppose the certificates were not asked for because of the undertaking. She brought her certificates pero wa pa ngayo. Okay, so her question, is that because of the undertaking? That's one. And second, for how many years will a certificate be considered valid from the year of attendance?
Inang, would you want to answer? Christine? Alright, sige, ako ma'am tubag.
Sige ma'am, murag nawa yung connection.
In 2019, ma'am, we are requiring na CPD. So, instructions are usually posted sa mga counters. Unfortunately, di na siya ginabasa sa atong mga clients uban. So,
okay.
per moment ka sa imong undertaking, maybe the processor assume nga wala kay CPD. Pero maman ka, dili na mo perma.
Sige.
Dili mo perma sa undertaking, pananglitan na ay CPD. I-attach lang siya along with your renewal form.
Ma'am Arlene?
Yes.
Unmute. Did you signify for an undertaking?
I could not exactly remember.
Ano na lang ma'am, kanang ipadala na lang ang imuhang certificate sa email. Para ma-update na mo.
So for how long, ma'am, will a certificate be valid?
3 years
from the date of attendance.
Dili ang reckoning period sa attendance nimo ma'am, but the submission sa imuha transaction date sa office. So kung ang imuha transaction or kung imuhang appointment date in 2021, dapat ang certificate nimo nga dalaan na is 3 years prior to submission. So example, 2021 man, so 2018 onwards ang mga certificates nga dadon.
Okay. So 3
Which
years.
means, sige ma'am. So na ko i-follow up adto ma'am. Which means, so if I signified for an undertaking for my 2021 renewal, and it was only in 2024 that I brought my certificates, only certificates with dates 2021 onwards will be credited by 2024. Sakto, ma'am?
Tama. That's why we will be accepting po scan certificates via email para atong pwede pa i-submit na certificates.
Okay.
So submit it as soon as possible because in 2022 we will no longer accept certificates issued in 2018. Paso naman sila, sayang.
Yes. Okay. Sige. So we will email them to the email addresses that you provided a while ago, ma'am, no?
Yes po.
Or sige. I screenshot those contact details, so hopefully we can sort it out in our college and we can share it with the rest of our colleagues. Okay. So there are no other questions naman siguro from our audience. Pero let me check my questions. Okay. Can we submit? Unsa man akong question na ha? Can we submit the photo? This one, I know, Nano. You already mentioned that application for the conduct of seminars or trainings by a provider should be done beforehand and not after.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
klaro.
Yes.
Okay. Next is regarding graduate studies. I do not know if I mistakenly hear it a while ago, but I think I heard that graduate studies have no date requirements.
Yes po, wala, ma'am.
So if I graduated my master's degree back in 2000, for example, I can still use that for my CPD points.
Yes po. And then, tip will be, kung doctorate degree holder ka, and then isubmit ni mo CPD, ano lang siya, ayol lang siya idungan with your
Dungan.
master's
Okay,
degree. Kay ang full na pwede ma-earn ni mo from your master's degree, kay 45 naman. And then si doctorate degree ni mo, sunod na lang sa na renewal.
Okay. Ma'am, is this a new policy or an old one? Because when I renewed last, when was that? March? Or sama na, basta 2021, dili day March kay it was a late registration. I asked that my master's degree program be credited. Giingnan ko sa katong sa tao nga
Professor.
entertainment processor, nga dili na daw pwede.
Dili, baka ano lang, mawala lang siguro nagkasinabot.
Sige,
Dili na,
sige,
dili
okay.
na mo pwede i-accept automatically over the counter because it needs to be applied for accreditation muna.
Sa CPDAS.
Yes, ma'am. Dili
okay,
pwede
okay.
nga si renewal form o si TOR nimo and your diploma i-submit over the counter. No, because si graduate studies nimo or si mohang masters and doctorate needs to be applied first for accreditation to be given with corresponding units. So ang amo lang dawaton over the counter together with your renewal form are those certificates nga CPD accredited na. Pinaan naman siya CPD units.
Okay, okay.
Trainings and seminars nga dili accredited, dili na mo dawaton sa counter, i-apply ninyo siya for accreditation through the CPDAS.
Okay, okay. At the time of my renewal, there were also others who submitted their certificates and the processor told them, ma'am, i-check lang ni kay we will still refer this to our list. Dili na po na siya pwede karon.
Naaman because naay mga training sa uban nga kanang wala pa gani na approve or ang list na mo kanang dili pa updated. Mga ginapa-verify.
Okay. Okay. Sige, sige.
We still have the list. And by the way po, mabuti natanong. Can I share screen ulit? So, para lang ma-demonstrate kung saan ma-verify ang inyong mga certification, you can verify through our CPDAS. Wait. So, there are 2 ways to verify through our website. I hope dili siya under maintenance. Ayun, okay naman. So, under CPD nga tab, makita ninyo na ay accredited programs and providers. So, once click, loading. So, siya na, loading siya. So, dari siya tayo. Ayaw mag-proceed. Here na lang po. So again, sa CPDAS na lang muna, ma'am, because medyo loading ang website. So sa CPDAS nga webpage, i-click lang ni siya ang logo. Once click, you will be redirected to our list of CPD programs here. Kung ang program na conduct October 1, 2020 onwards, pwede niyo siya i-search dere. Then, kung 2017 onwards, to 2020, sorry, pwede dere. So, we will try to check holy name. Ayun. So, may duha ka accreditation. Sa teacher, yung Holy Name University, apil sad ang medical center. So, we will try to check. Ayun. Naamoy isa ka activity nga accredited. So, makita diha. Sa Holy Name Medical Center naman, search. Wala sila na-apply. So, you can verify it here po. Katoy nyo ang mga certificates. Ayan, nag-under maintenance na. So, under CPD, ma'am, CPD tab, kanilang i-click, naara din na siya mugawas na accredited programs and providers, naka-by profession. So, you can verify it here. All right, thank you.
Thank you for that. I have another question. Murag ako naman ang. There are still no new questions from the audience. But I have another question. There was a mention of excesses
Yes, po, ma'am.
sa CPD units. Kintahay lang, for example, because I'm not sure whether the attendance or the activities that I attended with actually will be credited. So I submitted all only to find out that there were excesses. Can I use those excesses and apply and submit them again for application for my next renewal for as long as it is within the 3-year period?
Yes, ma'am. Pwede po.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
why na-access because recorded na po yan sa record sa database, ma'am. So, kung naka-experience mo nga during your renewal, gipa-submit na documents para mabutang siya sa access, that because pag sunod renewal ana, katong nga mga certificates, mapaso na siya, so dili na namo dawaton. Pero kung na-record na siya as your excess credit units, kana pwede siya magamit on your next renewal.
Ang points.
Yes po.
So we don't need to submit again the certificates because the points are already there.
Oo, naka-note na nga na ay excess.
Okay. So di na mo matter ang years adto no nga certificate. I see.
Pero
Okay,
until next renewal cycle lang.
Yeah, only one renewal cycle.
Yes, ma'am.
And so if I want, for example, it's still within the 3-year period and hintahay lang, I don't know how it will happen in 3 years, but can I submit the certificates again for for certification of units?
Ang certificates, ma'am, kausa lang siya magamit.
Okay. Sige. All right. This one is about the CPDAS registration or the account in the CPDAS, ma'am. I tried to I tinkered with it a while ago before getting into the webinar. And then I do not know if, because I need to choose a regional office. But although you said we don't need to go to the regional office, but because it's part of the process in that account, do I still need to choose my region 7, but I don't need to go there physically?
Yes, ma'am. You need to choose po appointment place because katong nga application ninyo will be forwarded to our accounts. Naman sa accounts, mga frontliners. So, kanto lang siya ang masunod sa amo for processing.
Okay. Sige. All right. I think that's all for my question, unless there are others who would like to unmute and say their questions verbally. None. Okay. So that's it. I would like to thank you, Ma'am Rezalyn and Ma'am Christine, for entertaining us in entertaining our questions and inquiries.
May pahabol lang.
Yes, ma'am.
By the way, if you are a frontliner, medical frontliner po, we can cater your renewal ahead of your scheduled date. So, example, you are a nurse in a medical facility, tapos ang imuhang, say, appointment, say, December 28 pa or 29. As early as now, we can entertain your renewal provided you submit proof that you are a medical frontliner. Sample, your employee ID, your hospital ID po. That is also giving back or in gratitude to our frontliners, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. How many days prior to the appointment date?
Wala, ma'am,
Maximum?
wala. Wala. As
Okay,
long
okay.
as they can provide po.
The identification.
Yes po.
Okay, sige. Thank you for that, ma'am. So again, frontliners, if you think you can visit the office earlier than your appointment date, please do, and bring with you your identification card that says that you are employed in a medical center, so that PRC will entertain as, even if that's not your appointment date, as a way to say thank you for the services that you have rendered to us. Sakto, ma'am, no? Okay, Miss Carla, I'm done. Murag wala na questions.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Jer and Ma'am Christine and Ma'am Rezalyn. Now this time, let's proceed with the awarding of certificates to the speakers. Now, let me read the citation first. Holy Name University, Tagbilaran City awards the certificate of appreciation to Maria Christine O. Malanog for unselfishly sharing her expertise as speaker during the webinar, Continuing Professional Development Orientation, given this 10th day of December in the year of our Lord 2021 at Tagbilaran City, Bohol, Philippines. Signed, Dr. Roque A. Bongkap, Dean, College of Education, Father Ramilo V. Mapaye, SPD, PhD, Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Father Ruel F. Lero, SBD, PhD, University President. Same certificate is also awarded to Ma'am Rezalyn A. Maputol. Thank you so much, Ma'am Rezalyn and Ma'am Christine. Now this time, let's have the photo ops. Ma'am Vera.
Open your videos and look into the camera. Oh, sorry, ako di waka open. Yang ko. Okay na na. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. First page mo, raman siguro, no? Yeah. Got it. Okay na, Miss Kyle.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Vera. Now this time, let me call again Ma'am Jer for the closing remarks.
Very good, Ma'am Vera. Again, thank you for the PRC for giving us time, no? Giving us your time to inform us and to give us updates regarding CPD. Karo kay mga gabanhan na po akong mga anak. It's really good. It's really a chance for us to know this, because there are a lot of professionals there who still don't understand the process and who don't know how to contact PRC, especially this time of the pandemic. So thank you again. Thank you to the two speakers, Ma'am Christine and Ma'am Rezalyn. And thank you for all our attendees and our participants, and for those who are viewing us live on Facebook. Thank you and good afternoon.
Right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Jer. And I guess that's the end of our webinar. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you po.